Hello guys, today I have a more in-depth video about Game of Life and wireworld. So here is a Game of Life cell. As you can see, it's pretty small. It's only 7 by 7 by 13, counting the pressure plates on top. So yeah, it works quite, or the mechanism is quite simple actually. So you can just toggle the state by standing on top of this. For that it's just a wire going into a T flip-flop, but I'll show you that in a bit. Then we have this signal going through the entire cell, chaining to the next cell in order to clear it. So if it's on, it will just turn it off, as you can see, when it's depowered, the signal. And then we have this line at the bottom here, and this is basically the line updating the entire cell. So for instance, when it's on, there are 0 cells surrounding it, so if I now would update it with a short pulse, it will turn off. So yeah, let's take a look at how this works. So here we have the most important part of the system, and it's the part that actually counts how many surrounding cells are powered, are in the on state. So it's very simple. Basically all we have is one line, redstone line, decreasing a signal here and there, but that doesn't really matter, and then some comparators in between on subtract mode. So now if we want to count how many cells surrounding it are on, we basically need to invert this signal. So let's say a cell is off, this signal will be on, and if a cell is on, this signal will be off. So this, as you can see, hovers above this cell, which is to the bottom of the cell right here, which is counting its surrounding cells. So this, if it would turn on the cell, would flip this lever, inverting or not blocking this signal basically. So this only has one item, so it will send one signal strength into here, and then this will subtract one signal strength from the main power level. So now this output signal has decreased by 1. So that means that one surrounding cell is powered. Then if we do the same again here, it subtracts one more signal strength, meaning that the power has decreased by 2, which means that 2 surrounding cells are powered. So this way we can just subtract from anywhere and it will know exactly how many surrounding cells are powered. So then, as you can see, this, the cyan circuit is basically inside of the cell, and then these little blue and green circuits are actually in neighbor cells, as you can see in this corner and one in that corner. So if we move those all around and translate it all into one cell, we will get this circuit. So yeah, this is basically that, but then if you basically, when you tell this next to each other, you will get multiple of these setups. So yeah, this is the main part, and then you just have to connect the green lines to get the same signal to spread. So in here we have the green connected just in a spiral all around basically, as you can see, so the signal goes everywhere. Then the next part is this thing, which is basically the memory for the cell, which is quite easy. We have one button that de-flip-flops the cell. So we have this kind of infinite loop memory cell thing. So if we just insert a signal here, it will save it, and there's no way of turning it off really, apart from moving around blocks and cutting off the signal. So that's exactly what this does. It just cuts off the signal to turn it off. But what it also does is now this repeater is on, so now if it cuts off the signal, it at the same time powers the signal, making the loop basically turn on and store the value after the piston has retracted. And as you can see, this just has a bit of delay and an inverter to basically flip the signal every time you press this button. So yeah, this is basically what happens in there as well. And then when we need to set a specific value based on the update that occurs in the cell, we can just set the value by flipping this lever and then update the value in the memory by hitting the button here. So as you can see, we can write any value at any time, and we can also just flip the signal, toggle it at any time. So those don't interfere at all, and that's why I chose for this type of memory. So yeah, this looks a bit different, but is in there, and you can take a look at these things yourself in the world download. Okay, so then this circuit is basically what decides what state the cell should be in next. So this output is the inverted state of the cell. So if this is on, it means this cell will become off, become unpowered. And if this is off, it means that the cell will turn on. And then this torch right here indicates when basically a cycle will just be ignored and nothing about the state will change. So as you can see, if we have 0 cells powered around it, the cell will turn off. If we have 1 cell surrounding it powered, the state will still turn to off. Change to off rather. Then if 2 cells are powered around it, the state would turn to on, at least that's what this says, but as you can see, the torch also went on. And if the torch turns on, it basically means that the whole cycle will be ignored, meaning that the value won't be changed at all. So if it was already off, it will stay off. If it was already on, it will stay on. So this value right here will be completely ignored. Then if we have 3 cells surrounding it that are on, as you can see, it will just turn on. This isn't lit, so it will execute the change, and it will change to the cell being on. Also, the reason why I show this inverted is basically the signal that's written to the memory is inverted from the state it displays. So anything internally is exactly inverted. This signal that's spread through the cell, through this green wire, is also inverted from the state that's displayed on the cell itself. That's just, that just made the logic easier, sort of. And then the last possibility, or not the last, but the last relevant one, is it being overcrowded with 4 cells or more, and as you can see, it will just turn off then. So yeah, there's just some simple comparator logic for this. Again, you can just see this in the world download yourself, and I hope this explained it enough. Yeah, there's really not much going on. It's very simple using these new comparator mechanics. Way easier than it was in the past. That's why I decided to make one. So yeah, let's take a look at wireworld now. So wireworld is a bit more complex, mainly because it has 4 states instead of only 2 like Game of Life. So for that reason it's a bit bigger, but only a bit, because it's actually only 3 layers bigger in height. So I'm really proud of that. It's still 7 by 7, but now 7 by 7 by 16 instead of by 13. Yeah, so the basics are the same. It uses a comparator-based cell counting system at the bottom here, and there's a display circuit, the input circuit, and some logic to decide what it should do next. Yeah, the thing I found the most interesting about this myself is the display. Um, so and the memory actually as well. So for the display, what we have is a well, basically there are lamps all around here, but these are all irrelevant. They never get powered. It's just so there's as little contrast on the screen when lamps are turned off, because it's quite difficult to see the conductive wire pattern. And then there are two groups of lamps. We have the blue group right here, making this hashtag-like shape. And then we have the yellow group, which is just these four corner lamps. Then I used some interesting technique to basically make these four buttons correspond all to one state, and then basically the states are just binary version to make four different combinations of those two display parts. So if we press this, you can see it becomes a hashtag. If we press this, it just turns off completely. If we press this, it's the four corner lamps, and if we press this, it's all lamps. So yeah, this is enough of a difference, I think, to indicate what everything is. I didn't want to make anything fancier. This is all synchronized and looks pretty nice in my opinion. So yeah, I just went for this display system. And then the way I hooked it up is quite nice, I think. So these are half slabs. So if I press this button, it will only extend this piston right below it and power, I believe, 2 signal strength into that wire, which means that the wire will only reach up to this piston, nothing more, go down and basically extend both of these pistons, removing these blocks from in front of the furnace, which would then power these comparators. Then this thing, if we press this button, it will only extend this piston, but if we extend that piston, it will power this all of these three dust, meaning that it also extends this bottom piston, just like it did in the other one. But it also extends this piston, and it does that before. So basically, this block will move down, and even though this also tries to push up, it's too late because the block has already moved down, and the piston is basically blocking it from pushing back up. So if we can catch that. Okay, barely. Let's try again. Oh, there you could see it, sort of. So yeah, that switches the state like so. Then if we press this button, it will power only, or not only, it will power this piston, making this column push down, powering this comparator. But it will also extend this piston right here, because it's budded, because this is a solid block. Meaning that it will also extend this piston down here again and making this column push back up, changing the state once again. So if we look at that, I hope you can look down there basically. As you can see, this pushed down and this pushed up. And then the last state is this button, and this button will both activate this piston and this piston, meaning that both this piston and this piston will push down, making our last state. So it's basically a really tight little cluster of pistons and powering combinations of other pistons to achieve every state in a really compact way. Um, so yeah, that's basically it. I hope that wasn't too long and boring, but I found it quite interesting myself, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. So then the next part is the actual memory. So we could see the memory there already, but there are some extra things. Um, so this is basically the basic idea I used for changing the four different states. So if we power this, it will power both of these pistons first, making both blocks push down, and we will get this state because this lamp is inverted from that lamp. Then if we power this piston, it will only power this right piston, and then it will also extend this piston downwards, meaning that it will try to both power the right and left piston, but the right piston is blocked, meaning that only the left piston will push up, and we will get this state. Then the inverted of that happens when we press this button, meaning that they both turn off. And then the last option is pushing them both up, making for this state. So yeah, a really compact little way of forcing four different states without any flashing of the lamps. That's something I also didn't want to happen, so I didn't use any pulling of blocks, because if it was already pulled down before, it means that it re-extends and then pulls back, meaning that it flashes the display, which is ugly, and it can also screw up some things. And then the next thing is the state, basically moving down. So if it's a signal head, it will become a signal tail, and if it's a signal tail, it will become a conductive wire. So that's just an update that will happen every time the whole grid cycles or updates. So basically, if we see this, it means it's a alright, let's see, wrong button. This one? No. Okay, this one, yes. This would mean that it's a signal head, because both the corners and the hashtag is powered, as you can see here. Oh, damn it. Okay, I did something wrong, give me 1 second. I accidentally inverted the whole display, meaning that actually this is both the head both lamp sets turned on. So this is what it would look like when it's a signal head. So this piston is allows a signal to pass through, and basically what we have here is your basic binary counter. And this is what I mean with a binary counter. If we give it one input, the one will toggle. Then if we give it another input, it will carry through the next one and flip this one, and then give it another input. And they are both down. So basically that's your simple binary counter. So if the block is down, it represents a 1, and if it's up, it represents a 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and then carry on to the next one. So that's what we have in here as well. So the first time we send it an update and it decreases its state by 1, it basically only toggles this first block, meaning that this portion, the corner portion here of the state, will turn off, leaving only the hashtag. And then if it updates again, it will, as you can see, toggle both of the blocks, meaning that the corners will turn back on and the hashtag will toggle turning off, meaning that it will be a conductive wire again. I think it's that one. Okay. Making it this one, basically. And at that point, when the hashtag is off, it will automatically power this torch, powering this piston, blocking any further updates from coming through until it's a hashtag or a signal head or signal tail again, as you can see. So yeah, that's the memory I used. Basically a 2-bit memory system to indicate the 4 different states, and I thought it was a quite clever way of storing it, because it worked out perfectly with basically changing the 4 different states and also with down cycling the head, tail, the signal head and the signal tail. Then the last part is basically the same as we saw in the game of life part of this video, where we have a circuit for counting the surrounding cells that are powered. So this one is actually a bit smaller, as you can see. It's only like 5 blocks high or something. Well, 6, but there's some space in here as well that you can utilize. It's a bit slower though, and there's less space in here, and I just built on top of it instead. But yeah, this basically does the same. So as you can see, 0 lamps are on right here. Then a neighbor cell could power this, making the first lamp turn on. Then like another neighbor cell can power that, making the second lamp turn on, and then an entirely different cell can power this, making the third cell turn on. And yeah, basically at any time we know exactly how many cells are on, and we can toggle or change the state based on that. So yeah, the input of your cell, basically the state, will go into here, and this will spread its signal all around in order to power its neighbor cells. I will show you a little 3x3 grid of these things so you can see what's going on. Okay, so here's a 3x3 grid of these cells, and as you can see, it looks really compact. It's kind of a mess what's going on here, but it's also structured in a way. Makes quite a lot of sense if you understand it, and it's almost like point symmetrical. But yeah, as you can see, 2 pistons here are extended. The power reaches until there. Then if I remove the redstone block right here, it takes a bit, and then one of the pistons turns off. Then we can do exactly the same from any other cell. One turns off, and then we can remove another one, and 2 will turn off. So it's basically counting how many surrounding cells are powered, as I said before. So how fast it is depends on the cell surrounding it, or which cell surrounding it that powers it, because if it is further down the comparator line, it will be slower basically, because it has to travel through more comparators. But basically this is, I think, like 12 ticks max, so it's almost 1 cycle per second speed you can use this. Obviously it will be way slower, because most computers just can't handle that speed, because it's a lot of redstone to update if you have like 8x8 or 16x16 grid of this and more redstone. But yeah, if you want, you can use this in your own project. If you want to do something cellular, I will provide a schematic in the description of 1 cell and this 3x3 grid of cells, so you can try it out. I hope this video wasn't too long for you guys. I hope somebody at least actually sat through this video and enjoyed it. And yeah, that's all. I don't think I will be making any more cellular survival redstone systems in the future, because They are actually not that fun to play with, as they are incredibly slow, but it sure was an interesting project, so I did enjoy making it. But yeah, that's all, and see you all later. Bye!